Benfica started a new cycle that included high difficulty games like the one against Farense, the one against Bayern, and the Classico, which comes up. That and much more. And tonight's another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. Here we are with another episode. With me tonight, Cristiano Oliveira, and always Cristiano Oliveira. What's going on, Cristiano?
Como é que é, Alfredinho? Tudo bem?
Tudo bem, my friend? Dave is not with us today. He's
No, and I'm gonna tell you a little secret.
taking a vacation.
You just said an always, which is inaccurate. That's fake. That's fake
right.
news. Fake news, my friend. Fake news.
Olha.
Not always.
Olha.
When I can, I'm here.
Well, most of the time.
I tell you this much, man. Today was one of those days. Not. I always do wish, right? So it's not like I ever wish for him not to be. But today was one of those days in particular that I do wish with extra effort that Dave was here today, because if Dave wasn't taking a night off today, and nice of you to give him vacation, by the way. Thank you very. You're a good boss. If Dave wasn't taking his vacation days, this today would have been one of those days where I said, Alfredo, I got a toothache, my ear hurts, my toe. I don't know. I would have been looking for one of those get out of jail free cards today. I would have been using one of those excuses. But unfortunately, Dave is out enjoying, and me and you have to suffer. So here we are. Freddy's, what's going on? Smash the like button. Look, hold on. As a matter of fact, I haven't done it. I'm doing it myself. Welcome to another edition of the Benfica podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoy what we have to say. And if you don't, it's okay. Just go to the complaint section over here on the chat. And Alfredo will get back to you later.
Yeah, episode 540 is, or 540, I don't know, I lost count. Is it 540 or 541? I'm not
540.
sure.
It says here, Benfica podcast 540.
540.
So
Yeah, that's what I wrote,
Lage
but I.
is lab.
But
But you're not sure.
it's 541 actually. I fucked up. It's 541. Sorry, I'll need to.
Can you edit?
I'll need to
Can
fix
you edit
that.
the title later?
Yeah, I need to edit everything. Everything.
Okay.
So here we are, episode 541, and we'll be recapping the Farense game, which happened over the weekend. Also, Benfica played their fourth match in the Champions League today, Cristiano.
Yes.
Yeah, and they travel to Munich to face Bayern, and we'll look ahead to Porto, which comes up this weekend at Stadio Lage. So quite a little bit of a cycle here for Benfica before we hit the international break. So let's start at the beginning, but before that, you already said hello to the Freddies, but welcome Freddies. Vamos embora. It was the first one in. Flávio Ferreira, Jason Gaidola, Manuel da Cunha, Manny Valadão. I was just thinking that we hadn't seen Jason Gaidola in a while, so here he is. It's good. Welcome everyone. And I don't know if it's a therapy session or what it is, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it like we always do.
You know what I hate about doing a podcast like today?
Go ahead.
No, sir, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm dead ass. Is that you're over here, and again, rightfully so, right? Wanting to talk about the Farense game, and all I want to talk about is today's game. It's like the Farense game to me is irrelevant at this point. And I don't know. Last week I complained about us doing something different on the podcast, and now this week I feel like we're gonna change that up. Listen, I think we should think about doing a podcast after every game. I know some of you Freddies will like it. Others will like, no, listen to Cristiano twice a week. No, that's once is bad enough. But it's because of days like today, because, the game on the weekend was important, as we all know, but but today, man, the emotions and everything involved in such a game kind of like supersedes. But we're gonna try our best. Go ahead, Alfred. I was just brainstorming out loud. Don't mind me at all. But
No, that's
yeah,
fine. So you were thinking that we should do like a podcast right after the game to talk about the
each
game,
each game on
each game.
Sundays, whenever they play, each game should have its own individual podcast because it takes away a lot of the emotion. Sometimes, imagine you just beat Bayern. Well, we're doing a podcast today. We're talking about Bayern. But you beat Bayern 3-0, and then you lose to Porto 1-0, and then you do it's like, and then you come Tuesday to do the podcast. What are you talking about? The excitement? Like, it doesn't matter how many you beat Bayern because you lost to Porto. So you're, you know what I mean? It kind of takes away
Yeah, I think
that's what I mean.
it's a
Yeah.
catch-22. For me, I understand what you're saying, but for me, coming on Tuesday after a weekend game or whatever, it gives us a bit of time to cool down and to gather our thoughts and to think
Mm-hmm.
more clearly. But I do understand what you're saying. It's more emotional right after the game, and it's raw. And I think that then there's more of an association with the game than if you're talking about it 5 days later. I get that. I get that. I just think that I don't know. We've always done it this way.
I know. I was just talking out loud. By the way, Manny Belladone says no therapy, not therapy anymore, just banter. All in all, been
Yeah.
better than Schmidt era.
Yeah.
We're believing again in Lage brought hope that anything can happen. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it gets into. We'll
Yeah.
get into that in just a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
But Lala,
let's get this underway. Benfica traveled to Algarve to play Farense at Estádio Algarve. Didn't play at the São Luís, where Farense usually plays. And I think in the preview, I don't think I know. In the preview, we had talked about this possibly being the classic trap game, right? Because playing the
yes, you did.
last place team with Bayern on the horizon, a game that was important that the team maybe felt, and we'll get a chance to talk about that. Maybe felt that was out of their reach, but still their focus is on Champions League, and what player doesn't get motivated to play in the Champions League, right? But yeah, this Farense game, and I thought that Benfica came out flat. Getting into a little bit of detail in the first half, I thought that, as I mentioned, Benfica came out flat. I'll give you the lineup. Trubin was in goal. Araújo, Otamendi, Carreras, Tino, Arsnes, Kokshu, Di Maria, and Artur Koglu on the wings. Pavlidis up top. So a lineup that we've seen all along. I think that Lage probably feels that this is the strongest lineup. But yeah, I thought that Benfica was flat. There was a shot in the beginning of the game by Di Maria that missed. And then it was just lack of concentration again by the defense, with Ba losing his mark and Farense is getting on the scoreboard in the 15th minute. And then Benfica just try to claw back a goal or get back into the result. And they played a little better in the first half, but still, I thought that it was perhaps the worst performance under Lage. Carreras would eventually tie the game in the 21st minute with an assist.
Yeah, which Alfred, as you keep going, I think that helped us out a lot, being able to answer 5-6 minutes later. Because if not, as we saw the game go on, things got a lot more difficult than what we all wanted and we anticipated. So I think that scoring that goal early helped us out in the end.
Yeah,
right. Continue.
Yeah, and and Benfica just kind of try to strain the ship, get a little bit focused, and I just don't understand how the team can't get focused for a game like this, playing against a team that's in last place of the Portuguese league, that had one win. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but at the end of the game, their coach is banging on their chest, saying that it should have been a tie was the fairest result, and I tend to agree because of what they what they created in the second half. But really, first half, not a dominating half that you would expect by Benfica to facing the last place team. Benfica was solid defensively with the exception of that goal, but I didn't create enough chances. And when you don't create enough chances, you don't put the ball in the back of the net. That's just simple as that. Into the locker room and out of the locker room, Lage made a substitution. Best came in for Ba. We later found out that Ba picked up a little bit of a knock and he wasn't available to travel to Germany a couple days ago. But yeah,
Ben might not be available against Porto. We
Yeah.
don't know yet about that as well.
yeah, and it was odd because Best actually came in to the right, came into the left. Artur Goglu shifted over. Artur Goglu shifted under Pavlidis. Auschnitz then was in charge of the whole lane, a whole right hand side lane. Which I mean, we've seen Auschnitz playing right back, but he wasn't really playing right back. He was more of an in between guy. And it was it was tough to watch, to be honest with you. And as I mentioned, probably the worst game that we've seen under Lage. But it was one of those games that you just sat there and you're like, what is going on with this team? This team needs to wake up. I mean, they've been doing so well. They've been progressing, and perhaps little baby steps. But just watching this game was painful. I don't know, Cristiano, what your feelings are in terms of as you're watching this game. It wasn't great.
It was more frustrating than anything to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know that this team is capable of a much more. I understand we haven't played well of late, and especially since we've returned from the international break, that definitely broke our mojo. But nonetheless, it's still a game that Benfica should win for a multitude of reasons. I mean, one, as you stated before, last place team. Two, I mean, you're Sport Lisboa Benfica. I mean, you're supposed to beat these guys 9 out of 10 times. And in particular, the one thing you have to take into account is they're not even playing at their home stadium. They're playing at for lack of a better word, a rented stadium, right?
Yeah.
A lone stadium.
Yep.
To be able to allow more fans in. And so it wasn't one of these complicated stadiums that Benfica's played in Portugal. Like in years past, I remember going out to Passo Ferreira and fields like that are shorter, that are smaller, that are, which affects the playing style. This was a field that Benfica should have no advantage,
Yeah.
no problem taking advantage of their opponent, and we just for one reason or another, we struggled
Yep.
to get on top of them. We struggled to create chances. The one thing that we've all praised Bruno Lage for, right? Which again, there's plenty of things to knock, but there's also some things to praise him on. And one of them has been that his average goals per game is like 4 or near 4, whatever it is. And we anticipated Benfica to be on top of these guys, scoring chances, feeding their bellies. These guys that are lacking goals, the Pavlidis of the world and stuff like that. And yet we're over here struggling at the end of the day. We're allowing them to be able to come back at us in transition and cause some difficulties. And it's just unacceptable at this point of the season. I understand the coach hasn't been there long, but nonetheless, the caliber of player, the quality of player is so much, they're so much better than the opponent that they should be able to win these games a little bit easier than what we've seen so far. And so I was thinking about you and Dave throughout the game because you asked me about a trap game, and I said, nah, I think Lage will have the guys ready. But no, they were everything but ready. And luckily, we were playing against an inferior team, a team that didn't have the players that were able to make the difference in the final third, because you play the same way against better caliber team, right? I'm not even talking about the Portos and the Bayern Munich, just a better caliber team in the Portuguese league. And before you know it, it's too late and you've just conceded. And now here you are losing points once again, dropping points. And so look, at the end of the day, the important thing is the 3 points. Benfica found a way to win the game. Was it pretty?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Are we disappointed that we didn't play better? Absolutely. But as we've said here on this freaking podcast, way too many freaking times over the last 3, 4 years or whatever it may be, is that you know what? If we're gonna play bad and we get the points, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
we got to work through these hiccups. We got to work through these difficulties. Um, Lage has to get his men, ready to play, and in particular, like the next opponent in the league is not going to be a pushover. It's going to be Futebol do Porto. But they got the points. It is what it is. Wake up, take this, jot it down, and move on. And
Yeah.
And just know that you have to get better.
Yeah, and that winning goal came from the starving Pavlidis in the 54th minute off of an assist of Artur Koglu on a perfectly executed counter. And then there was
who should have scored earlier, by the way.
Who should have?
They didn't create many chances as I just talked for 20 minutes talking about, but they did create one or two, and one of them was right in front of the goal. Come on, Pavlidis just simply has to do better. And at the end of the day, the team, the pressure on the team, the pressure on the coach will alleviate if these guys that we pay 20, 25 million, if they just start doing the simple things. We're not asking you to get the ball behind midfield and pull a Maradona and dribble the whole team. We're just asking you in front of goal, tap the ball into the back of the fucking net.
Yeah, it's that simple, and we can't be snatching those chances because with inferior opponents, we're always able to claw something back as a result of them being inferior. But when you start playing more capable opponents and you go into the Champions League, you will pay. You will pay for chances that you squander, and those valuable chances will hurt you in the end. Few substitutions before the game was over. Amdouni came in for Turkoglu, 87th minute. Sheldrup and Cabral came in for Di Maria and Pavlidis, and 90 plus. Renato Sanchez came in for Koksu. I don't understand those substitutions at 90 plus, but at that time Benfica was really struggling, and I got to be honest, it wasn't a pleasant end of the game. As a Benfiquista sitting on the couch and watching it, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
We were hanging out for dear life. So let's kill clock.
PTSD, right? PTSD from years past, and it was like, and you're right. I mean, José Marreco, which is Farense's coach.
Bro, they had José Marreco, they had Menino, they had Cuba, they had a bunch of. I felt like are these nicknames or these actual names?
It's so crumbs. But yeah, at the end of the game, he did say that, look, the fairest result was a tie, and there was a couple opportunities, and as Cristiano mentioned, that if Farense's men were more competent, they would have put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, I remember there was one that the guy had an open goal almost, and he put it over the bar. And it was just like, it was not good. It was just, I felt nervous. I felt uncomfortable. And it's the first time I felt like that during Lage's second reign. So look, but as Cristiano mentioned, take it for what it is. 3 points is all that matters. But yeah, we need to, as a team that has aspirations to the title, playing against a last place team, we need to put the game beyond reach, so that players could be rested, so we can manage the game. And that's not what we did. So instead, it was a nervous end of game for Benfica. But as Cristiano mentioned, 3 points most important. Dave, stats.
Dave's not here, bro.
Forget Dave.
Sadly,
yeah, but it's just one of those things, that it was a tough game to watch, man. It was a tough game to watch. Yeah, Dave's not here, by the way.
Dave's happy. But I'll give you stats. You want stats? I'll give you stats.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Dave's usually pretty good because he'll send an email with the stats.
I got you. Benfica had 18 shots on goal. The Farense is 9. 7 on target for Benfica, 4 on target for them. Possession 70% for Benfica, 30%. for the opposition. Benfica completed 670 passes to 285. Pass accuracy 88 to 71%. 5 fouls for Benfica, 10. So, I mean, offsides, 4 for Benfica, 0 for the opponent. 8 corners for Benfica, 3 for Farense. And we know some people that might call some of the Benfica games, they love them corner kicks. That's if they count as goals. So Benfica got 8 of those. Benfica won that category by 5, which is very impressive. Oh, my God. I think they got extra points in the standings for that.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. You know, for some people, for betting people, those corner kicks are
Yes.
are a good stat. But anyway, as we mentioned, 3 points. Keep moving on to the next game. And Wednesday, today, we had that tough trip to Allianz Arena in Munich to play Bayern. I'll give you the lineup.
A homecoming for Renato Sanchez.
Cristiano, did they get up and clap for Renato Sanchez when they called their name?
No, unfortunately.
Not like they did at Stadio Lage that one time.
No, unfortunately, the Bayern Munich clocks weren't singing throughout the game. I don't know if it started before the game or not, but apparently the club put out a statement and everything that something happened to a fan, or he had a medical emergency.
He ended up dying. He ended up passing on the way to the hospital.
Oh, he did pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ended up passing. Yeah, but the game was delayed as well as a result of medical emergency.
Was it of that? Because I was watching Sport TV and they were talking about one of the reasons is also that the Benfica fans set off pyro on the train, and then it was delayed, and I don't know. So now this is all coming to light. I didn't even know. So look, RIP to him. But yeah, so to answer your question, I don't know if you're telling me the game was delayed. So yeah, I'm guessing that we didn't hear much, and so Renato has an excuse for the Bavarians not cheering for him.
Yeah. Aussie Benfica said, since we did not put this game to bed early, the rotation was done today. And he says another stat, many questions for Lage, 1 for Jose Marek. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that the presser for Jose Marek, but that was funny. He went there was one question, then he just sat there waiting for more questions, and nobody would ask a question. He said, "Oh, okay, that's it? That's all? You only have one question for me? Okay, bye." But anyway,
I didn't even pay attention. I stopped watching press conferences. Hugo and I always get into these discussions because he'll call me every day or every other day, like, "Oh, did you see what this guy said?" And I'm like, "Bro, what do you expect him to say? It's a press conference." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
The press conferences,
they don't tell me no truth, bro.
Yeah, the thing with the press conferences is that the media is more interested in statements that are going to sell papers than to actually talking about football itself. I think that things have gotten a lot better in terms of coaches that want to speak about football. I know that Mourinho always wants to talk about football. I know Vitor Bruno at Porto wants to talk about football. And Lage likes to talk about football. So I think that the media does a bad job in really getting the information from the coaches in terms of what was your game idea, what was behind the substitution, things like that rather than talking about things that are more polemic-ish, that are more
but the media didn't care. Once they lost. It didn't serve their purpose. So it was like, perderam, it is what it is. There no caso polêmicos. There was no goals offsides with the lights going off or electricity going off. There was no red cards. There was none of that. It was just Benfica didn't play well. And they still weren't good enough to beat them. They still lost. They're like, okay, there's no casos here. Let's just go home. I mean, it's a long drive from Algarve to Lisbon. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So turning our attention to the
wait, real quick, because this has to do with Renato. Del Tasca says the one's clapping is PSG. Renato continues to get minutes and don't play shit. We will be forced to buy him. I don't know about the forced to buy him,
but there's I think I heard this somewhere in chat. Please help. I think I heard that if he plays a certain number of games, uh, then I think that Benfica is obligated to keep him or to buy him. I don't.
for 10 mil. For
Yeah,
10
yeah.
mil.
I don't
Right?
know if that's
Which
accurate or
again,
not.
if he triggers all that, right? If he triggers those clauses or the numbers in order to trigger that automatic buy, well, that's good news for Benfica. That means he's on the field. That
Yeah,
means he's active and he's contributing.
but I
So
mean,
I mean,
10,
it
10
wouldn't be
mil
the worst
is
thing.
10 mil is not a lot of money for
Yeah,
Gnatsash.
it's not. It was 10. That's what I'm saying. If he's playing and he's on the field to the point that he's triggering the numbers and the clause,
That that's a good sign,
obviously
right?
if he's just out there, right, and being force fed minutes and not doing shit, okay, that's something to worry about. But I'm talking about if he's actually performing and contributing, that's a good problem.
Yeah,
That's a good problem. You get to buy a player of his ability for 10 mil,
for
which
cheap.
is a
Yep,
bargain today.
yeah, yeah.
It's absolute bargain.
Yeah, Renato was one of the 11 that Lage picked, and Truben, and I'll give you the other 10. Truben was in goal, Cabaret, Araújo, Otamendi, Silva, and Carreras. A back line of 5 men, Auschwitz, Kokshu, accompanied Sanchez in the midfield, and then Abduni and Arturkoglu were up front. Cristiano, a tactical disposition that we've never seen before. And I don't, Lage after the game in his presser, he explained that Bayern had a lot of players on the outside that were really good, so they were trying to block that up. But here's an instant, and before we get into the mentality and the approach to the game, because I already know how that's going to go. The one thing that Lage does is he seems to study his opponents. One thing that we always called out Roger Schmidt for was that it was rumored that he didn't watch game tape and he didn't scout teams, so he was surprised by teams sometimes. And I think that Lage is the complete opposite. And for him to just to change to a formation of 3 center backs with a 5-man back line or whatever you want to call it, I think it shows a lot that how much this technical staff and the coaching staff is doing their job. Now, was it the right approach? That's a completely another question, and we'll get into that now. I thought that Benfica was extremely conservative against Bayern. I do understand that the goal difference makes a difference in this Champions League, and when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and you're tied with somebody, the goals that you score and the goals that you allow are gonna be one of the head-to-head factors. So
Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, yeah. And I get that, but I just thought that Benfica having the quality that they have, right, the talent that they have, and the way they've played this year, I just thought that we were ultra conservative playing against Bayern. I really thought that we played like a small team, small mentality, and as a Benfiquista, it really didn't sit right with me. Chris,
Where do I start? Being a very opinionated guy, you know how I am at times. Like in years past, I'd go bananas when I see certain formations and certain starting lineups. But understanding that this team, this roster, is nowhere near as good as they might want you to believe it is, right? I think if Benfica have a tendency of hyping up regular players and making them better than what they really are. And knowing that it was going to be a difficult task to go into Munich and pull off a result, especially when you just lost at home 3-0 to Feyenoord in this competition, I decided to take the high road and to say, I'll wait and see. Right? I kind of understand what he's trying to do here in terms of getting the 3 centrais in the back and getting some extra help on the outside, and then getting mobile guys up top that could press and defend and got some type of speed and power and could catch this team on a counter. So I said, okay, I'll wait and see what happens. And
yeah,
for at least the first 45 minutes, at the end of the day, he was getting a result, and that's all that mattered. You get a point in Munich, which would have been really helpful
Yeah.
to Benfica in the standings of this new Champions League format. Now, the problem I have is in years past, I remember going off on a rant when Steve was still around and saying we're sport league for Benfica. We go out and play to win games.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. And as I said before, I know darn well that this team is not capable of doing that. I know we beat Atletico Madrid at home 4-1, but Atletico Madrid struggling, and so I'm not trying to forget about that game, but just knowing it was going to be a very tough task. I just the thing that annoyed me about this game is the attitude. We played with absolutely no ambition.
Yeah.
I understand trying to get out of there with a point, as I just stated, would have been very beneficial, but not even trying to play football, not even trying to come out of your shell, not even. I mean, we didn't have a shot on goal. We had an attempt.
Yeah.
As I stated before, they love corners. Everything. We didn't even have one of those. It was just absolute putrid football from a club that many times, talking about press conferences, goes into post-game press conferences complaining about jogo sujo or whatever it is, the time wasting and all that. And we went away, we went on the road, and that's what we did. We kind of played that. I mean, we looked like an absolute freaking second division team. It was. I mean, we play teams in the Taça Portugal, right, from third and fourth division, but that have more ambition, and they against Benfica, they come out and try to play us more than what we did today. It was total resignation. It was absolutely horrible. Now, had he come out of there with a draw, we would have eaten it. We would have taken it. But they didn't. But they didn't. And then we allowed a goal in the 60-something minute,
67th, yeah. And that's what
it took them forever.
Yeah, it did.
But real quick to finish, it took them forever to actually tell the team to go forward. And then on top of it, and this is the part where I'm going to defend him here, right? I mean, his fucking options are Artur Cabral. I mean, he's got no playmakers on this team. I mean, the one playmaker on this whole club is a 36-year-old that doesn't have the legs to be a playmaker in games such as these anymore.
Yeah, not by himself, and he was often by himself on the wing, and people were serving him balls for him to run onto, and he was quickly covered up. Quickly, Aussie Benfica saying, would Lage be a mastermind if today worked? Look, there's always that chance, right?
Not a mastermind. He wouldn't be a mastermind, but like I said, we would take it because we understand the difficulty that it is to go out there and get points in Munich. You obviously take every time you get points against an opponent such as Bayern Munich, you take it, especially the way that Portuguese football is. A team where we're at right now and at this state of the season and whatever. Yeah, you take. I don't know about mastermind. A mastermind is going to Bayern Munich and beating them 3-0. That's a mastermind.
Yeah, look,
right?
I
but
think
getting a point, it's not.
You could look at, the game against Atletico Madrid. He did make some changes that ended up being the difference makers, right? Regardless of where Atletico Madrid is at and what season they're having, right? So I think that if this works, and it worked for most of the first half, obviously, and some of the second half, if this works and he comes out of there with a point, I mean, it's a different story. The problem that I have is that a team like Benfica, of Benfica's stature, of Benfica's history, of Benfica's reputation, you can't approach games like this the way you did. With lack of ambition. As Cristiano mentioned, there's teams in the third and fourth division that play us with a lot more ambition that we played against Bayern, and I agree with that. I just thought that, and even Renato says that we respected Bayern too much, and I think that we did. We have to have a little bit more personality. I understand that Lage could have been playing with the factor that Bayern knew that they needed to get points. And maybe the idea or the game plan was, let's close things up. Let's close some of their difference in playmakers, and maybe once they're frustrated and once they come more forward, we'll hit them on a counter. But really, you can't depend on a 36-year-old to be able to start a counter by himself or a Cabral. So it was just, to me, it was a bad approach, and I think that Lage took blame for it. That it was his idea. It could have worked.
Today was the first game where you could call me crazy. Some of you guys call me crazy because I was okay with this happening at the time. But today was the first game that I could honestly say, man, we missed the Viner.
Yeah.
A player that's able to hold on to the ball in the opposition's third or whatever. Because we didn't, every time we got the ball, we got past midfield, we lost it within a second.
Yeah.
We need players that are able to hold the ball, able to turn, shield off a player, wait for the team to push up, wait for support. And we don't have many of those guys on this team.
Yeah.
And so today we severely missed a player with the caliber, with the with the ability of the Viner. I me, Alfredo, I've always been a fan of skillful players, guys that can make the difference on their own. There's very few of those on this team right now. Arturo Cabral comes in and Benfica's actually pushing up and they're trying to build off of something. And Arsenal plays a 1-2 with them, and his touch to Arsenal was absolutely hard. I mean, again, that's not Abdul Lage. Can't blame the coach. I don't care who the coach is.
Yeah,
it could be Bella Gutman, right?
Yeah.
You can't fix that. That's just the caliber of player that's not able to play at this level, though, at this pressure. And it's just annoying to see some of the things that these players do. And I swear, Alfredo, I was watching this game and I'm telling myself, I'm not gonna go on this podcast to be negative. I'm not gonna be, but like I just can't help but to let out my frustrations because there's just it's the basic things in football. A simple 1-2 with nobody on you should be something that a professional soccer player should be able to complete 10 out of 10 times. And they just don't do it. Execution, whether they're not focusing, I just don't know what it is. At the end of the day, the players aren't good enough.
And
now, the one thing that angers me, and I know anger is a strong word, but angers me about a game like today is, and Alfredo, you know better than the Freddies do because we talk about a lot of this, off air and whatever, is the what's the word I'm looking for? The product, right? The appearance that Benfica put out today to the rest of the world. This is at a global stage. This is not at home where only the Portuguese, at home meaning in domestic competition where only the Portuguese people are paying attention. This is the global eyes watching these games.
Yeah.
And the image, that's the word I was looking for. The image that we put out was an absolute freaking terrible team. The rest of the world must be watching like, wait a minute, the players come out of this team? I mean, they must have lost them all because they're garbage. I mean, this is the image that they put out, and it's absolutely infuriating.
Yeah.
I talk to you about this all the time when I talk to the guys that's serious and a lot of the guys in American soccer media and whatever, and they're all like, every time they see us play, we're always losing or always embarrassing ourselves. And it's like, I'm tired, I'm fed up with this, man. It's
Yeah, like many Valladolid is saying, makes Benfica look like a minnow team. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think in this type of stage, you have to play to your history as a club. And one thing is that when you don't have the talent, I could understand, but we do have the talent. I don't know why Renato Sanchez stayed on the field for such a long time. Arturo,
you know this? I got a theory. I know why. I know why.
Go ahead.
He came off in the 85th minute. So I think Lage was sending a message that he played a minute. He got for every million that they spent. So 85 million, 85 minutes. I think that's what it was. I think he was sending a message to them.
Yeah. No, it was just one of those things. Arturo Koglu was spent because Benfica couldn't come out with the ball. We couldn't hold the ball, and most of the time he spent running after guys because we couldn't possess the ball and rest with the ball at our feet. We were constantly losing balls, and we're constantly chasing, and we're constantly positioning ourselves to defend. And it was just it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and I get the idea behind it, but the execution was very, very poor, very, very poor. And Lage is, this presser, he has a good explanation as to why he lined up like that, and to kind of safeguard the team against the players that Bayern has on the outside that are guys that could really make or break games. So I understand that. But just the execution from a team standpoint, and then also understanding that how much have they worked this system out in training? I mean, did the players know what to do? Did they know the timing of the pressing? Did they know the passing channels that they needed to be in order for Benfica to keep the ball? It just didn't seem like that. It always seemed that for every Benfica player, there was 3 or 4 Bayern players. It seemed that they were playing with 16, 17 players, and Benfica was playing with 11. It just felt that way. As I'm watching the game, they were always on top of Benfica trying to get the ball back. And Benfica just couldn't hold it. And as a result, kept giving the ball away, and they kept coming. They kept coming.
Diogo Reis says, and then we only get 30 for Renato. I'm talking about the 85 with the Ballon d'Or and all the triggers.
Oh,
the
yeah.
deal was if he would have fulfilled everything that in his contract, it would have been 85 million.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 80
so
plus
Diogo,
the 5.
Simmer down.
It was 80 plus the 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it would have gone. It would have been all that if he would have maxed out everything. In terms of Champions League and Ballon d'Ors and all this, it would have been like 85. I believe it was 85.
Yeah, I won't even bore you in going into a little bit more of the detail, but I'll tell you how the game finished in terms of stats. Dave, stats.
20 shots.
24 shots for Bayern. 10 of them on goal. For Benfica, 1 shot, and it wasn't on goal. 72% possession for Benfica. I'm not for Benfica, for Bayern. 28% for Benfica. Actions in the opponent's box. 25 versus 5. It was just a dominating performance by Bayern, and Benfica was lucky not to come out with more. But I mean, ultra defensive and ultra conservative the way we were. I don't know if we expected to allow more goals, but Trubin also showed himself in good form. And oftentimes we criticize Trubin.
But he pissed me off in this game, though.
How did he piss you off? How did he piss you off?
Because Benfica's under pressure and they're coming off a corner. They take a corner. Benfica's under pressure. And it's the one where he comes out and he punches it. And they get the ball and the Benfica's under pressure. Again, he could have very easily caught that ball.
Yeah.
Gone down. Let the team breathe. Move, step up. Again, bro, that's what a mature goalkeeper does. He knows when to catch a ball, when to punch a ball. And it just seems like, again, I'm getting on him, but it just seems like that's world football today. These goalies today, they barely any of them grab the ball. It's all about slapping it away, parrying it away, whatever you want to call it. But they don't catch. And again, by catching these crosses, you alleviate a lot of the pressure on your defense, man. I don't understand. Any other thing I wanted to touch, I know you might, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of guys probably get upset. But you hear all this noise about Araújo. I mean, could he get his head on that ball? Could he not get beat for that? And then Antonio Silva, could you not be ball watching and be paying attention to the guy? I get it. It was bang, bang. But come on, Silva, this is not the first time it's happened to you.
Yeah.
And Araújo, can you jump up? Can you get up for that ball? Could you not get beat in that situation?
Well, he felt he was pushed down by Kane. And that's what when they had to review the game, that the goal they were reviewing.
Yeah, I get it. But, okay, well, I mean, I get it.
Look, it's just you have to exert you have to show your presence, and you have to be strong enough to be able to jump and not let guys jump over you. And Antonio Silva, the guys in front of you, you see him making a run, and you're just watching.
Mm-hmm. And it's not the first time this happened to Antonio Silva, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This has happened in years past. He does a lot of ball watching. But whatever. Look, it's a game that all of us will absolutely forget about if we capitalize and we do. We have to do. We get the 3 points at home on Sunday.
Yeah,
we'll just be like, whatever. But right now, We're not happy about the way the team carried themselves. We're not happy about the way the coach approached this game. I believe if you're going to play games such as these in terms of sitting back and countering, I mean, have the players forget on the field, on the team that are able to do that. We don't have many players with pace. We don't have players on the wings that have the ability to beat team players one on one. It's just, I mean, Koksu, we spent 30 million on this guy. Could he show up? I mean, has he showed up in the last couple of weeks? I mean, he said he loved this game against Atletico Madrid, and I don't think he's played ever since then.
Yeah.
It's just, man, it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
To watch. But like I said, come Sunday,
yeah,
we'll all have forgotten about this game, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And talking about Sunday, it's the Classico, Sunday, 8:45 p.m. at Stadio Lage. Porto comes into Stadio Lage. There's the second best defense and also the second best attack. Only 4 goals allowed. If we recall last time that Benfica played Porto under Schmidt, it was 5-0 shellacking by Porto in a game that I don't know if you remember, Cristiano. That Schmidt said, I don't have to apologize for anything. And then Rui Costa is apologizing to the fans. They send João Neves to talk to the media instead of the captain. It was a whole fiasco. But I think that there's a little bit of a, and I don't know if I want to say identity changed, but there's something under André Villas-Boas about Porto that's less, I want to say less rabid, and I think maybe because they have the team that they have, but I don't really know what to expect from this game. And there's something that we always talk about here, and Cristiano loves to use that. Porto comes into your house, opens your fridge, eats your chicken, throws the bones on a counter, goes in the bedroom, slaps your wife around. Things like that, right? That's what they usually do to us, and we're kind of have that serial fear of Porto. But I don't know. I've been watching this Porto team play. They're inconsistent. They have yet to find a rhythm. The team is not as talented as Sporting or Benfica. They don't have the bench either that either team has. But I'm just curious how Lage is going to approach this game, Cristiano.
I don't know. I honest to God have no idea. I do think that in today's lineup, along with trying not to concede 5, trying to come away with a 0-0 draw and a point on the road, I think some of his thinking was also, I'm going to give Florentino a break. Di Maria is not going to play the whole game. Turkoglu comes out in the 50-something minute. I do think he wanted to give some of these guys a breather with Sunday's game in mind. But this is all a fairy tale, right? I could sit here and give you a perfect game plan. I give you a shit game plan. And then he does the total opposite come Sunday. When is the game?
Yeah.
Sunday? The 10th. Yeah, Sunday. Come Sunday, all I could tell you is this. I am anxiously awaiting this game on Sunday. I am very intrigued at to find out how Bruno Lage is going to attack this game.
Yeah.
I think I will have a much stronger opinion after this game. Win or lose, I just want to see how he attacks it, how he goes into this game. As you said, he studies his opponent. He prepares his teams. I'm very intrigued to see how he confronts this game on Sunday, because it'll say a lot about Bruno Lage if he's progressed, if he's evolved as a coach or not. It'll tell you a lot about this team come Sunday. Now, that's just gibberish, right? At the end of the day, we want Benfica to come into their own house, step up to Porto, slap them in the face, right? Take care of business at home. Be aggressive, because we know they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be playing mind games. Benfica has to not back down, play the football that they like to play. But again, I'm even having a difficult time in saying this because we haven't played that football since before the international break. So I don't even know what football they like to play. But try to be positive. Bruno Lage, as I said to you before, has he has the highest goal per game average of any coach in the last 50 years or whatever it may be. So hopefully the team falls back on that. We get to see some positive football. Benfica is not just sitting back and trying to counter all day. But again, these are all things that I hope will happen. As we all hope that Benfica plays dominant football and creates chances. But do I believe they will do so? That's the real question. And right now, I can't answer that question sincerely and tell you, yeah. If I were to tell you yes, I think I'm lying right now. I have my reservations. And as I said, ask me before the game when I see the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Which I do believe. As a matter of fact, this is an asinine comment on my point, that I've just made as well, because it's going to be the same 11 as we're accustomed to seeing over the previous games, and that's why I'm saying I'm intrigued to see if he's going to go in there playing 5 at the back, or if he's going to play.
I hope not. Fuck.
The question is, does he play Antonio Silva Otamendi with Araújo at right back, or does he move Ausnes to right back? Which I don't think that's going to be. I think it's more likely Araújo at right back, Silva, Otamendi, Carreras, Koksu, Dinu in the middle, Di Maria, Artur Kuglu, and but then there's one missing. Who the hell is missing?
I said Pavlidis.
Pavlidis.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Di Maria, Pavlidis.
Artur Koglu.
That's 3. Yeah, and then
Tinu,
Koksu
Ausnes,
and Dinu in the middle. Yeah, that's 5, and then 4 at the back is 9. I'm missing somebody. Right now, I'm drawing a blank.
No, look, you got Araújo at right back, Silva and
4 at the
Otamendi
back.
and
4 at the
Carreras.
back.
You got Tinu, Ausnes and Kokshu. You got
Artur
Koglu on the left, Di Maria on the right. You got Pavlidis.
Yeah, I made a mistake when I talked about Ausnes at the right back. For a reason I was blank. But yeah, Ausnes, that's right. That's the third wheel in the middle.
Look,
I think that's going to be the lineup.
Yeah, I don't think it's a must-win for Benfica, but it's a crucial game. You're playing at your stadium. You have this disadvantage that you squandered in the beginning of the season under Schmidt. You really don't have any more margin for error. And the fact that you're playing home, this is a you got to win this game. You got to win this game.
Why do you say it's not a must-win?
Let me rephrase that. Benfica has to win this game, but if Benfica loses this game, I'm not saying that the season is lost. That's what I mean.
Oh man, this is a must-win already.
It's a must-win game, but I think if Benfica loses, I still think that there's plenty of games to be played where Benfica could recover.
Yeah, mathematically, you're still alive. But come on, You're going to be 11 points behind Sporting. You're going to be, where are you at now? Right now, you're what, 22 to 27, 5 and 8. You'll be, but that's with a game in hand, right? How many points you're going to be? Yeah, you'll be 8 points with a game in hand.
Right.
Against Falkland. Again, it's not.
And already haven't played at Stade Lage.
Yeah, but again, the Portuguese league is weak. Porto and Sporting are not going to have many chances to drop points. So this game is.
No, you have to. At your house, you have to win.
You have to win this game. You will absolutely have to. It is a must win. If you want to stay alive. I'm not trying to correct you. I'm sorry, buddy, but it's a must. You have to.
I think
it's not sketch, bro. You're never gonna catch them guys in the front. You never.
You still. I understand that you're still alive mathematically, but the fact that the Portuguese league is so uneven, it's so easy for the other teams to get points.
I mean, think about it. Sporting is 10 for 10.
Yeah.
As you said, Porto in 9 games allowed 4 goals. The other team, Sporting allowed 2 goals. Come on, bro. You're not gonna That's gonna be even if you wind up beating Porto the next game, and you wind up beating Sporting the 2 games.
Yeah,
you're still way behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, so you need to depend on the rest of the league, and this league ain't doing shit.
No,
but competing hard against you and bending over against everybody else.
Yeah, you're right. So it is a must-win game, despite mathematically still being possible. But like you said, logically, it's going to be very tough. And you're playing that style of lose in front of your fans. You got to show up. You got to show up, and you got to defend your house, and you got to get the 3 points.
Yeah, this will be a tremendous emotional boost, man, and confidence boost to the team, to the fan base. Yeah, I mean, that means you're in them. You're still in it.
And look, again, we're talking about a Porto team who's, as weak as last season's, maybe if not weaker than last season's. And you got to take advantage. You have a much better squad. You have better players, and you have to win. Just plain and simple. And playing in your house, you have to win. So that's it. I think that's all we got, Cristiano. We covered Farense. We covered the Bayern game. We covered Porto.
We'll be back Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday. Is there a game Wednesday?
I don't know if there's a game Wednesday. I don't know when we play Monaco. I don't know if it's next week that we play Monaco.
I think. Don't tell me it's international break again.
Yeah, there's an international break somewhere.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Somewhere towards the end of November, if I'm not mistaken.
Sheik Marcelino, what's up? Came to therapy. This ain't therapy, bro. This is like we're at the bar talking shit. The only thing that's missing is the whiskey.
It's banter, like Manny Valadon said earlier. Yeah, buddies. That's all.
Diogo was saying, how do we improve this team in January? What area of the field are we going to make a splash to get a guy that's going to walk into the 11? Wingers, bro. Wingers.
I would even say a forward, bro.
You need a 6. Nah, man, you can't get a 4. We're going to be stacking up $25 million chips on the side.
Bro, I don't think
you're not wrong.
Cabral is not. I'm not. I'm inspired. No confidence from Cabral, bro.
You're not wrong.
Nothing.
I get it, but yo, mas foda-se.
Send Cabral away. Push. I get it.
Sheik Marcelino says, Vidane had a better match versus Benfica than Benfica against Bayern.
We said that. They were more motivated. We said that, Sheik Marcelino. There's teams from the 4th division that were more motivated to play Benfica than Benfica was motivated or show up any initiative against Bayern today. Yep, we already said that. Sorry you missed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's that ugly reality, bro. That ugly truth.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, who did we piss off? What did we do in our previous life? I don't know. Benfica must have pissed somebody off, man, that we all got to suffer through this shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we get our neighbors, and even the team we're playing on Sunday, they're in the competition, and they're playing teams, they're trying to, they're defending, but at least they're coming out on the counter. We don't have those types of players. We can't even attempt to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody. Like I said, our one difference maker is 36 years old, doesn't have the wheels that he once did.
Yeah.
Our strikers, some dudes trip over themselves. It's just very frustrating because we've spent plenty of money on this roster.
Yeah.
And yet here we are saying we don't have guys that are able to go on account. And Rafa was the one player that was able to cover a lot of holes in that department because, the speed kills. Yeah. We don't have a player on this team right now that is on the roster because of speed. Like, tell me a guy. Don't tell me I'm Dooney.
Yeah, well,
he's not, he's not slow, but he ain't.
I'm not sold on him.
No, I know. I'm not neither, but I'm talking about in terms of speed.
Yeah.
Artur Kuglu, he's not slow, but he ain't fat. Like, where's the Rafa on this team?
Yeah.
There isn't.
You got Cabaret from the right back position. He's pretty fast. But not the position that we need. Anyway.
Look, Shiku. My man.
Let's get out of here.
Before you leave, look what Shiku just said. Well, he's late. Shiku's always late to the party.
We had Neres, Cristiano. Yeah.
What did I talk about 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, not even 20 minutes ago, bro. Anyway,
it was. Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Chris, always a pleasure.
Press rewind, Shiku. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks.
Freddie, love you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.